Just a second, clean this camera. Come on in, family, come on in. Man, family, we got a lot to talk about today. You know what I mean? We have a lot to talk about, man. So I'm gonna give you guys a second before we get started. Man, just a reminder for those of you that are part of the men's group, man, we'll be meeting at 3:30 today. As far as the women's group, man, we'll be meeting at 6 o'clock today. Again, the men's group meeting will be meeting at 3:30 today. We're gonna be talking about low self-esteem. And the women's group will be meeting at 6 o'clock this evening. What's up with you, Eileen? I sent you email, Eileen. I hope you got that. I responded to your email as far as the group. We'll be on at 6 o'clock tonight. Family, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Excuse me. Man, first and foremost, on behalf of my mother-in-law, man, I bless each and every one of you. Man, namaste. You know what I mean? And for those of you that catch this on a replay, may God bless you as well. Today we're talking about what happened to you. And man, this is going to trigger some of you, you know what I mean? And that's the purpose of this conversation. What happened to you? You know what I mean? When we were kids, man, what's up with you, Leave It Love? Man, when we were kids, man, we were so happy and just running around. And Kate, what's up with you? Just running around and just, man, we're just so full of life. You know, man, we had so much confidence in who we were. We had so much, man, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And we're telling everybody, man, what we were going to do as kids. As kids, man, we just had all this hope, all this joy. Man, I'm going to do this, I'm going to be able to be this, I'm going to do that, and all this other stuff, right? But something happened in life. You know what I mean? Something happened to where we shifted. You know, it's a trip because you look at little kids and they're just running around and they're just so happy and they're just so carefree and just so trusting and just so loving, so giving. And then something happens as they become teenagers. And then something happens as they become adults. You know what I mean? Something happens to us that shifts our attention. Something happens to us that, man, it's as though somebody killed your dreams. Something happened to you to where, man, you're no longer that positive, loving person. You're no longer that trusting, caring person. You're no longer that giving person because something happened to you. You don't believe that you can accomplish all that you set out to now. You know, and sometimes you sit back and I talk to so many people and it's like, oh, I grew up. Well, hold on, wait a minute. As this young person, you came in and you were going to accomplish all this. You're going to be president of the United States. As this young person, man, you're going to have this big house and you're going to have all this stuff. And As this young person, you're going to be this doctor, this nurse, and you're going to be all this stuff that you were going to do. And then you allow something to happen to kill that hope and dream. You allow something to happen to crush your dreams. You allow something to happen to crush your spirit. Stay with me. When I say you allow something to happen, it wasn't your choice for this thing, this situation, this person to crush your dream. But you allowed it to crush your dream. You allowed it to make you so toxic. You allowed it to make you so unforgiving, so hateful. You allowed it to make you such a victim. And it completely changed who you were. Truth, I was talking to a young lady last night. And man, her perspective of her mother, right? And it was kind of toxic, you know, it's kind of negative, you know, at the beginning of the conversation. At the end of the conversation, man, she had a totally different perspective of her mom. Totally different view of her mom. And God has had to show me, because I grew up, man, my life was toxic. My childhood was rough, was nasty. There was a good sprinkled in, but it was mostly bad. And what God had to show me is that, Elijah, your perspective was bad. Your perspective of life became toxic. You stopped trusting people because people hurt you. You stopped trusting people because people took advantage of you. You stopped trusting your family because you saw how toxic your family was. You stopped loving people because the people that you love didn't love you back the way you wanted them to, the way you felt like you needed them to. And so you stopped loving people. You stopped loving life because you didn't feel like life loved you back. You stopped loving humanity because you didn't feel like humanity gave a fuck about you. And it's a trip because I hear so many guys talking about, man, fuck these bitches and woo-doo-doo-woo. Man, your mama's a woman. Your mama brought you into this world. But you've allowed all these other females that broke your heart, that crushed your spirit, you've allowed them to taint your perspective on women. As though your mama ain't a woman. As though your aunties and grandma ain't a woman. On the flip side, we have so many women that don't give a fuck about dudes no more. Because they're tired of being hurt. They're tired of getting beaten on. They're tired of being disrespected. They're tired of being dogged out. And so the perspective is, fuck these dudes and dudes ain't shit and whoop and blah, 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 blah. And the reality is, no, it's not that dudes ain't shit. It's your choice of dudes ain't shit. Let's keep this shit real. Same thing with these guys. They get mad at women and we put women in this category. Fuck these bitches and da-da-da-da. It's not that women are bad. Let's be honest. It's our fucking perspective is bad. It's our fucking selection is bad. What the fuck is wrong with us to why we choose these toxic ass motherfuckers? What's wrong with us to why we can't see that they're full of shit from the gate? What's wrong with us to where we get caught up in how they look and all the shit they say, we can't see the truth for what it is? But we blame women for not being shit. We blame dudes for not being shit, and we don't take no blame in this shit whatsoever. Those dudes are gonna be shit because they shit. Those women are gonna be shit because they shit. That ain't got shit to do with you and why you chose them. What was wrong with you to... I forgot to say this right off the rip. I'm sorry. This is also going to be a question and answer session, all right? So we're talking about what's wrong with you. You know what I mean? What happened to you? Okay? So if you got questions along the lines, the topics of what we're talking about, what's up with you, Paul? Hey, Paul, can you give me a call after the live? Give me like 10, 15 minutes after the live and give me a call, please. Thank you. This is also going to be a question and answer session. All right? So if you got questions about what we're talking about, just put them up there and the queen and get that information to me. And so we have to start taking responsibility for who we are. We have to start taking responsibility for what's going on in our lives. What happened to you? I put a short video out the other day talking about hate. Hate is not a bad thing. And I know our whole perspective, hate is wrong. Hate can be the catalyst to help you discover who the hell you are. Hate can be the catalyst to launch you into the greatest discovery of your whole life. Just like being broken. Just like all the crazy things that's happened to you in your life. All the negative, toxic things that's happened to you in your life. It's not that these things are so bad. It's the energy that we attach to those things that make them bad. And then when we finally start growing up, we have to sit back and say, dang, I wouldn't be me. I wouldn't be the person that I've evolved into being if it hadn't been for this situation right here. This situation right here, man, it messed me up. This situation right here, it broke my heart. This situation right here, it crushed my spirit. This situation right here, it stopped me from trusting guys. It stopped me from trusting women. It stopped me from believing in Christianity. It stopped me from whatever the case may be. But the same situation can be the exact reason to help you go into the next round. It can be the same thing that open up the doors. See, so many of us, we get stuck in our past. We get stuck in, man, I was molested as a little kid, so I don't trust people and I don't trust relationships and blah, 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 blah. Man, Kate, bless you for that donation. We get caught up in that, right? And so what God had to show me is like, Elijah, you're tripping, dude. You're mad because this happened to you. You're only mad because you're not tapped into me. And because you're not tapped into me, you can't see why I allowed this situation to happen in your life. You thought I allowed this situation to happen in your life because you ain't shit. You thought I allowed this situation to happen in your life because I don't love you. You thought I allowed this situation to happen in your life because nobody cares about you. I allowed this situation to happen in your life because I knew it was the key to help you reach your full potential. I allowed this to happen to you because I knew that this was crucial. You had to experience this in order for you to become the beacon of hope, of love, the beacon of light that you're meant to be. You've gone through what you've gone through. And it hurt. I get that. You lost some people. I get that. You lost business opportunities, finances, homes, all that. I get that. But everything that you've gone through is intended to help you reach your full potential. Everything. And I'm talking from somebody and from the perspective, man, I saw my father murder my mom. I was sexually molested twice by guys in the church. I had a brother die from cancer, and the next year had a wife die from cancer. I've had women walk out of my life and take the kids. It's easy for us to take on this victim mentality. It's easy for us to say, man, life is so bad and nobody can. It's easy for us to be a victim. But what God had to show me is you're stuck right there because your perspective is wrong. And you haven't grown up emotionally from that point. And so I keep allowing circumstances in life to remind you of where you got stuck. So you're going to keep going through the same type of stuff in life. Why? Because you haven't grown up emotionally. You haven't dealt with your issues in that area yet. And because you haven't dealt with that, you're going to keep going through that. You went through it as a kid. You went through it as a young adult. You're going through it as a middle-aged adult. You don't go through it as an old-ass motherfucking adult if you don't deal with the issues. All of that stuff, you're looking at it as a bad thing. All of the things that you went through, you're looking at it as a bad thing because it hurt. Elijah, I let you go through everything that you went through. And because you never asked me, God, help me understand why I'm going through this. God, help me see what the purpose of this situation is. And sometimes God will reveal it to you right then. Sometimes God ain't gonna show you until you age a little. Now you can sit back in life and reflect on some stuff like, oh, snap. Okay, I understand why I had to go that route. I understand why I experienced all the things that I did. I understand why all these people hurt me, why all these people betrayed me, why all these people lied on me, why all these people neglected me and abandoned me and all this. I understand that now. See, because a lot of times I had to grow up and understand, man, I got this. So many of us, we're looking for somebody else to constantly bail us out. So many of us, we're looking for somebody else to lean on, to hold, and to be like, man, I need some help. And what God is trying to show you is you got this shit. I know it's hard, but you got this. Stop thinking you need a fucking man to be successful in life. Stop thinking you need a fucking woman to be successful in life. You got this shit. That's why everybody rejected you as a kid. That's why your daddy didn't want shit to do with you. That's why your mama didn't want shit to do with you. That's why people in your life didn't want nothing to do with you. Why? Not because you were unlovable, not because God didn't love you, but because God had to teach you and show you that you got this. I'm going to give you a queen in due time. I'm going to give you a king in due time. But I don't ever want you to think that that king made you who you are. I don't ever want you to get it twisted and have you thinking that queen made you who you are. You are who you are before you got your king. You are who you are before you got your queen. You have to understand, man, I'm good. I'm good. Just as I am, as broken as I am, I'm good. As messed up as I am, I'm good. I have to stop looking at everything negatively. I have to stop looking at my childhood as being negative. I have to stop looking at my daddy not being there. My daddy rejected me. My mama not being there, being abused and what. I gotta stop looking at that stuff negatively. I have to stop looking at the fact that I was molested as a negative thing. I have to stop looking at the fact that, man, I had women walk out the life and take their kids. I have to stop looking at that stuff negatively. Why? Because now, because I've gone through that, I can speak on those things. Because I've healed from those things, I can help other people deal with the exact same thing. See, what great majority of us don't want to understand is we came here to go through the crap that we've gone through just so that we could be a beacon to help other people. Because no matter what you go through, no matter what you've gone through, there are millions of people going through that exact same thing. No matter what you've gone through, there are millions of people that's going to come that's going to go through the same thing. It is what it is. We don't want anybody to get raped. We don't want anybody to get molested. But the reality is people are going to get raped. People are going to get molested. People are going to get abandoned. Kids are going to get abused emotionally and physically. It is what it is. We can't stop that. Death is going to occur. We can't stop that. You can't stop that. I can't stop that. When Jesus walked on the planet, he didn't stop that. He didn't stop the world from being the world. He didn't stop anybody from doing what the hell they was doing. What makes you think that you're supposed to stop all of that? You can't control what other people do. All that you can do is stand up and be a beacon of hope, a beacon of love, a beacon of light in this dark ass fucking world. To show them their way out. To show them, man, I ain't got to stay over here. To show them, man, I ain't got to stay stuck in this crap. I know the world is crazy now. I know the people in the world are fucked up right now. And it's like, man, it's so much going on. It's so toxic. It's so overwhelming. It's so crazy out on the streets. And so, what God had to show me is, I brought you here. And I'm telling that to each of you on the live, and those of you that catch this on the replay. God brought you here. You came here because the world is dark. You came here because the world is fucked up. You came here because humanity is lost. And humanity needs to see some light. It's a trip. We have so many people say that, man, all we need is Jesus. And I'm not against Jesus. But the truth is, I'm not Jesus. You're not Jesus. And the world needs to see your light. They need to see the light of God or whatever you believe. They need to see you. They need to hear you. They need to hear your stories. They need to hear your experiences and how you came out of your funk, how you came out of your suicide, how you came out of your depression, how you came out of your hate, how you came out of your low self-esteem. How do you rose up from being broken and beaten? How did you get up from that? How did you rise from that? You got billions of people all over the world talking about Jesus. But it ain't helping the rest of humanity. You got people in the church talking about Jesus. And people sit in the church still broken and fucked up emotionally because the people that's talking about Jesus don't have the ability to give them the answers and be a beacon of hope, of love, and light to help them out of their darkest stage. Let's keep the shit real. Churches everywhere. Everywhere. Talking about in America. And the people in the churches still fucked up. They read their Bible, they quote the scriptures, they talk Jesus, they talk God, but they're full of hate. They're full of racism. They're homophobic. They haven't dealt with their issues from being a kid, and so they're self-righteous. And everybody's going to hell because you don't go to church on the Sabbath. Everybody's going to hell because you don't worship Jesus like I do. Everybody's going to hell because you're not baptized in the name of Jesus, or because you're not baptized in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, because you don't dress like this, you don't talk like this, you don't speak in tongues, and all this other bullshit. But they got Jesus. But they haven't dealt with the fact of their fucking hurt and pain. I'm not knocking the church. I'm not knocking the people in the church. Man, let them do what they do. But we have to understand, man, we came here to be a beacon of hope. We came here to be a beacon of love. We came here to be a light unto the world. How can we be a light unto the world? By standing up and saying, man, I feel your pain. I've been there. Let me show you how I came up out of that. Let me show you how I changed my perspective. Let me show you how I conquered being suicidal. Let me show you how I conquered being a dope addict. Let me show you how I conquered being a hoe. Let me show you how I conquered being a liar and a thief and a banger. And somebody slanging pussy and dick and dope. Let me show you how I came up. It's not to puff on my head. It's to help you through your darkened stage. It's to give you hope and love. It's to empower you so that you know, man, I ain't got to stay here. I don't have to die in this situation. I don't have to die hating my life. I don't have to die with shame and regret. I don't have to die with grief. Man, we have to grow up. We have to grow up. That's why you're catching all the hell you're catching. It's not because you're a bad person. It's not because God don't love you. It's not because you're not chosen. You're catching all the hell that you've caught. You've caught all the hell that you've caught. And you're going to catch more hell. Understand that. But you're catching this stuff. You're going through this stuff. Why? because it brightens your light. It makes your light shine brighter. The darker the circumstances are around you, the brighter your light should shine. So regardless of how crazy the rest of the world is, regardless of how crazy and toxic the rest of humanity may become, our job is to let our light shine. How do we let our light shine? We don't let our light shine by quoting scriptures and beating people up with fucking scriptures. We don't let our light shine by beating people down talking about Jesus. We don't let our light shine by beating people up and casting them to fucking hell. We don't let our light shine by telling people that they're sin and they're da-da-da-da and they're an abomination to God. That's not letting your light shine. You let your light shine by allowing people to see the real you. You let your light shine by allowing people to see the pain and the suffering and the brokenness that you endured and the joy and the happiness and the peace of mind that you have now because you dealt with that stuff. And now, because I've been connected to God and I grew the fuck up and I've dealt with my issues, I don't need you talking to me about Jesus. I don't need you quoting no fucking scriptures at me because I'm at a place where your ass ain't at. And you got all the scriptures, all the books, all the teaching, and you're not a beacon of hope or love or anything. We have to grow up. What is empowering other people? What's lifting other people up? What's encouraging other people? What's inspiring other people? What's speaking life into other people? Other than listening to their story, challenging their perspective on their story. What am I mean? See, when we go through stuff, it's easy for us to take a victim mentality. When we're in the middle of the hardships, it's easier for us to be like, man, woe is me, and life sucks, and life's not fair, and blah, 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 blah. It's easy for us to be a victim. It's easy for us to get in survival mode. And so when we're a beacon of hope and love and all this other stuff, man, we can sit there, and when they come to us, and they're asking us. See, it's not our job just to go out into the world and just start telling people, you're dumb, and you're da-da-da, and you're not connected. That's not your motherfucking job. That's not your role. A beacon of love, a beacon of light. Man, talk about a lighthouse. A lighthouse don't go out into the fucking water looking for the ships. A lighthouse stays right where the fuck it's at. It has its own fucking lane. It don't go looking for people. The people come to it. The people are attracted to the light. What happened to you to where people can't see your light anymore? What happened to you that's dimmed your light? What happened to you that's put out your light? What is that light? What's the light? Because the light is not religion. The light's not Jesus. There's a whole bunch of people all over the world that are true beacons of hope and love and light. And they don't talk about Jesus. You could be a beacon of hope and love and light and talk about Jesus. But talking about Jesus don't make you a beacon. Let's get that clear. Just because you believe in Jesus don't mean you're a beacon of hope and love and light. We have to grow up. We have to grow up. So what happened? What happened in your life to where you gave up? What happened in your life where you lost your way? What happened in life where you veered off on a different path? What happened in life to where you just hung your head and you've never been able to pick it up again? What happened in life that makes you walk around with shame? And you're so embarrassed. You don't want to talk about shit. You don't want no attention on you. For those of you that are part of the men's group, we're talking about shame and regret next week. It's going to be powerful. Shame and regret. What happened? What happened to you where you lost your voice? Where you stopped trying to help other people? What happened to you where you stopped looking out for other people? What happened where you stopped being a beacon of hope and love and a beacon of light to just being a survivor? I just want to survive. I just want to make it through the day. I just need to make it through this week. Man, so many go to work Monday through Friday, or whatever your schedule is, and then you can't wait till your last day, whether that's Friday, Saturday. Man, we gonna turn up, we gonna get lit, man. We gonna smoke, we gonna drink, we gonna party, we gonna sleep in, we gonna do what the fuck we want to. Man, I can't wait till my last fucking day. Why? Because I need a fucking break. I'm done with these motherfuckers right here. I just need some me time, some turn the fuck up time. What happened? What happened? Because when you got the job, you were so excited. When you got the job, you was on fire. But something happened. And now you're like, man, fuck this place. I ain't going to work today. Man, fuck them people. They kiss my ass. What happened? What happened to where you lost touch with who you are? What happened to make you not remember why you're here? What changed? I've met so many women. They had such high standards as far as their men. The type of guy that they were looking for. Man, I want him 6'3", big muscles. Man, I want him to have a goatee. I want him to have his hair down to here and with all these tattoos and his piercings. And I want him dressed like this. And da-da-da-da-da-da. I want my woman. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And man, she got to look good and talk good, smell good, long curly hair. And man, she got to be able to cook and clean and have a good job. And da-da-da-da-da. And man, I want to have pretty feet and pretty teeth. Da-da-da. Man, I just want a man. I just want a woman. I don't even care no more what they really look like. They could be fat. Now, I don't care. Man, they don't have to have a job. Man, it's just as long as they treat me right. Man, I don't give a damn about nothing. I don't care how much money they have. I don't care how much food they have or how good they can cook. I'll teach you how to cook. Man, our standards change so drastically as we get older. It's not always a bad thing. But what happened? To where now you're satisfied with having a guy in your apartment who ain't working. And you notice I said a guy, I didn't say a man, who ain't working, ain't bringing shit to the fucking table, except maybe some dick every now and then. Don't pay no bills, don't cook, don't clean, don't do shit. And you got to do every damn thing. That's not what you wanted in the beginning. You wanted somebody that was going to help you build. Somebody that, man, we're going to be able to do this together. We're going to be able to do this together. And man, we're going to be able to go here. And now you've fallen off so much You've settled so much. You've changed so much. Man, I just want this man, as long as he's breathing, as long as he have his teeth in his mouth and he don't look too bad, man, okay, we could work with it. What happened? What happened? Why aren't you chasing your dreams anymore? How come you don't even have any dreams anymore? How come you don't have any goals anymore? How come your dreams and goals? Man, if I could just make it through today. Man, if I could just make it through this week. Man, if I could just make it through this month. That's become so many of our goals. Man, if I could just make it through today. If I could just make it through until next payday. If I could just make it through this situation. We didn't come here just to make it through. We didn't come here just to survive some fucking little bullshit. That's what we didn't come here to do. We came here to go through whatever the fuck we have to go through. However painful it is. To encourage, inspire, and uplift others. When you really look at the life of Jesus, when you take all the religious bullshit off of the life of Jesus, Jesus came here, went through all the beatings and all the crap that he went through to give us hope, to show us how to go through it. Jesus got to the point where, man, he didn't want to go through the shit either. Let's keep it real. Jesus didn't want to go through the shit he wanted to go through. That's why he had to pray so intensely. That's why he prayed to the point he was dripping blood. Because he didn't really want to go through that at that point either. Because the pressure was so overwhelming. But he stayed the course. He stayed the course. That's what we have to do. That's what we have to do. Life is hard. Life can be challenging. Life can be very frustrating. We have to grow up. We have to understand, whether you know it or not, there are so many people depending on your success. There are so many people depending on you making it through, and not just making it through, but being who you came here to be. You have no idea of the impact that you're going to have on the lives of others. You have no understanding, no idea how many lives you're going to inspire. You're going to change. You're going to motivate. You're going to, quote unquote, save. And I'm not talking about save in the aspect of fucking religion. I'm talking about save in the aspect of them being suicidal and being homicidal and wanting to end it all. But because they heard you, they saw your light, and you spoke life into them. And how do we speak life into people? We speak life into people by telling them the truth about who we are and where we came from. and how we've had to grow up emotionally. That's how you speak life into other people. You don't speak life into other people by quoting fucking scriptures. That's why there's so many people that are in church that know the Bible and they're still suicidal. That's why there's so many people in the church reading the Bible, talking about Jesus, talking about God, and they're still with a fucking gun ready to put a bullet in their fucking mouth. They're still cheating on their wife, still cheating on their husband, still disrespecting their wife, still disrespecting their kids, and emotionally beating them down and all the other bullshit. We have to grow up. We have to grow up. If reading the Bible and quoting the Bible changed people's lives like that, then there wouldn't be a person in church that was fucked up still. Except for the very fresh people that just walked up that day. We have to grow up. We have to understand the bondage of religion. We have to understand, and that's part of our perspective. What's up with you, Charlie? We have to understand that's part of our perspective that's messed up. How we see religion and how God really is. Remember, there are people in the Bible that were very religious. There are people in the Bible that had the quote unquote scriptures. There are people in the Bible called Pharisees and Sadducees and scribes that knew the word. But they couldn't grow up. They lived the word. Excuse me, not lived the word. They knew the word, but they couldn't live it. They knew of God, but they didn't know God. They knew of Jesus, but they didn't know Jesus. It's 2023, and ain't nothing changed. It's a whole bunch of people running around talking about God and Jesus and don't know him. And they're convinced that they know him. And to each their own. What happened to you that messed you up? What happened to you that's made you so angry? What happened to you that's made you so hateful? What happened to you that's made you so anxious and nervous? What's happened to you that's made your mind a wreck? You can't calm your thoughts. You're all over the place. What happened to you? You can't sleep at night. You're tossing and turning. You're restless as fuck. What happened to you? To where you don't have any peace? What happened to you that's depriving you of joy? What's happened to you that's depriving you of your happiness and peace of mind? We have to grow up. All these things have nothing to do with money. There's so many wealthy people, financially wealthy people, that can't go to sleep at night either. There's so many financially wealthy people that's having to pop pills just to go to sleep. So many wealthy people having to pop pills just to calm their mind. To suppress their fears. To calm their anxiousness. So finances don't give you peace. Finances don't give you joy. Finances don't make you happy. You can have all that stuff and be an emotional wreck. You can have all that stuff and still be suicidal. You can have all that stuff and still be messed up. What happened to you? Where you gave up on you? What happened to you where you stopped believing in you? What happened to you? It's made you stop believing that you're beautiful. What happened? There's a whole lot of people that are in relationships and they're miserable as fuck. There's a whole lot of people that are married and they're lonely as fuck. There's a whole lot of married people that are depressed as fuck. And you're beating yourself up because you're single. I just can't wait till God give me my man. I just need my queen. I need my man with the like that's gonna change anything. Like that's gonna change something. How many divorces, how many marriages end in separation or divorce? How many marriages are unhappy? But we're gonna stay together for the sake of the kids. You go do you, I'm gonna do me, but we'll put on this front for the kids. How many marriages are said, man, we're financially stable, we got all this stuff together, we're a powerhouse, but you do you on the deal, I'm gonna do me on the deal, but we can't mess this money up. We look good together in the public. But they're both miserable. We have to learn to change our perspective. There's so many people, there's so many single people. And I'm talking about this right now because Valentine's Day is coming up. And there's so many people that are single and they're sitting there thinking, dang, I'm going to be by myself all again. I'm never, all this other stupid shit, right? And it's the trip. Because so many single people feel so bad because they don't have their own boo on Valentine's Day. And the truth is, there's so many married people. There's so many people in relationships that wish they were single. That wish they weren't in this relationship. That wish, man, I wish I could get out of this relationship without getting killed, without being financially raped, without being drugged through. But on social media, I'll put on the smile and I'll act like everything is nice and everything is cool, but I'm dying on the inside. I got somebody in the bed with me, but I've never felt lonelier. I got somebody with their nasty ass, crusty ass feet touching me, laying in bed. And I've never felt so alone. Trip is, I was with my younger 3 kids' mom. And I've shared this part of this story before. Something that came in. I could feel the energy in the room shift. At nighttime, and I opened my eyes because I felt like the energy shift. It got cold as crap. Just out of nowhere. And I felt this energy walk over towards me on the bed. I felt it walk through the door and just all the way around to me. And it's like it put his hand on my chest. And some people say it's sleep paralysis. And it's crazy how we come up with all these scientific terms for shit that we don't want to really talk about. And so we justify them and we label them as this to minimize what it really is and to dismiss what it really is. Same thing we do with dreams. Because we don't understand this shit, we'll write it off as something else. It is what it is. This thing's putting his hand on my chest, squishing my chest in. And I'm trying to get up. And I can't get up. The more I fight, the more it pushes. Oh man, I just had an epiphany, something about that. I'm gonna share that with you in a second. And so the more I'm pushing the fight to get up, the more this energy is pressing my chest in. And so now I'm at the point I'm trying to move my hands. I'm trying to wake my wife up at the time. And the more I moved, the more it pressed in. So I'm trying to talk to God because I can't move. And I'm crying and tears rolling down the side of my eyes. And I'm like, God help me, God help me. And now I can't say nothing. Because every time I open my mouth to say, God help me, the more it pressed my chest in. It's like it was pushing my lungs in. And so now the tears are running down my eyes and I'm crying because I got my babies in the room. And it's like, man, I'm getting ready to die. And I'm screaming and nobody hears me. I'm trying to move and nobody sees me. And I got a motherfucker in the bed with me. And I'm crying to God, God help me, God help me. And then I hear God tell me no. And that fucked me up. I stopped fighting. And I'm just laying there feeling defeated. And I'm not talking to God no more. Because the more I talk, the more my chest is pressed in. So now all I could do is just think. And in my mind, I'm talking to God, just thinking, God, why can't you help me? God, why won't you help me? And then God says, I've already given you all power. Use it. I start remembering who I am. I start remembering, man, hold on, wait a minute, greater is he that is in me than he is in the world. Man, I could do all things. You know what I mean? I'm starting remembering things. And as I'm saying these things in my mind, as I'm remembering who I am, as I remember everything is always working out for me, as I remember all things work together for the good, to them that love him and called according to his purpose. As I remember remembering these things, I'm saying it in my head, and the power in the arms lifts, the hands lifts up off me, and I fly up in the bed. I flew up in the bed, and I'm hyperventilating. What's your spiral spec? I'm hyperventilating. And I look over next to this person, and they're knocked out. Didn't budge. And I'm breathing hard, trying to catch my breath. And I'm trying to calm myself down. And God had to show me, you're already all powerful. Each of you are already all powerful. You just don't realize the power you have. Because something happened in your life to make you feel helpless. Something happened in your life to make you feel like you ain't got no power. Something happened in your life to make you feel like you don't have the ability to speak because nobody listens to you. Nobody cares what you have to say. Nobody cares what, just stay out of my way and we be good. Something happens and we give up on who we are. We lose who we are. We stop believing in who we are. And so God had to show me through this situation. It was a scary situation. I thought I was going to die. And God had to show me, even in this darkened stage, even in this situation where you thought you were going to die, I had to reveal to you how strong you really are. The only way for you to see how strong you are is for you to be tested. The only way for me to know what my max bench press is, I got to get down on the bench press and I got to put the plates on and I got to be tested. For me to know what my capabilities are. For me to know how much I can squat or leg press, I got to put the plates on. I got to be tested. The only way for you to know how strong you are, you're going to have to go through some stuff. The only way for you to know how powerful and how resilient you are, you got to go through some stuff. The only way for you to realize how loving, how compassionate you really are, you got to go through a lot of brokenness. You got to go through abandonment and rejections. You got to go through people cheating on you, people leaving you, people not fucking with you. And we take that shit and we get stuck in it because, man, these people don't like me and she don't love me, she don't want me, he don't want me, and we miss the point. Was the reason for the lesson. Because there's a reason for everything we go through. There's a reason for every situation we face. And when we understand the reason, now God can give us the blessing for the lesson. Let me say it again. Let me say it different. We're so busy praying and crying out to God. God bless me. God give me this. God give me this. God bless me. God. And God has said, I'm blessing your ignorant ass, but you're not sitting there listening. I'm trying to bless your ignorant ass, but you're not paying a fucking attention. I'm allowing this shit to happen to you because that's the way I bless you. You think a blessing only is financial. You think a blessing is only because, oh, look at this person coming into my life. Oh, they like me. Oh, they're giving me this job. You think that's the blessing from God. God is I'm blessing you by allowing all this negative, toxic shit to happen to you. All this shit you deem that's bad. All this shit you deem that's hateful and so messed up. You thought that shit was a curse from the devil. You thought that shit was people not wanting to fuck with you and people hating you and the devil having a curse on you. And what, dude? You thought all that negative, toxic ass shit because your ass is negative and toxic. The reality is God allowed all that stuff to happen to you. Why? Because I'm trying to bless you. I'm trying to teach you some shit. I'm trying to get you to understand some shit. And so I got to take you through some stuff to break you down, to humble you, to get you to understand, man, I got attachment issues with this right here. I have attachment issues, period. I don't want people close to me. When I see friends getting too close to me, I push them away. I start ghosting motherfuckers. Why? Because I have attachment issues. I'm scared of getting attached. I'm scared of allowing people to get attached to me. Why? Because if the truth is be told, man, I was abandoned, I was rejected, I had my heart broken. And so this is a defense mechanism to protect me from getting hurt. Why are guys always running from relationships? Why? Because they're hurt. They've gone through some shit and they have attachment issues and they're afraid of being hurt. And so they can't be vulnerable. They can't be transparent because they're afraid of getting hurt. So they put up this facade and have all these crazy ass tattoos plastered all over them. Why? Because it's intimidating, it's threatening, and you're not going to question me. You're not going to see the real vulnerable, scared little me. So I'm going to act like I really don't give a fuck about you, bitch. And I'm out chasing another hole when the truth is I'm scared as fuck. I'm scared that I'm digging you. I'm scared that I'm really liking you. And everybody that I ever really liked has always left me. Everybody I've always really liked and became vulnerable with, man, they've always broken my heart. And so I'm acting like I don't care. I'm acting like I'm tough. And the truth, I'm scared as fuck. And we can't see that these things that God allowed to happen to us is really a blessing. How can being molested be a blessing? How can seeing your father rape your, murder your mom? How can these things be a blessing? Man, they've given me so much passion for women. See, I never had my mom in my life after the age of 2. So I have this thing about mothers. I have this protective nature about moms because I didn't have that. Because I wanted that. And I'm looking around and everybody got that. Whether they fuck with their mom or not, whether they talk to their mom or not, whether they think their mama is good or bad or what, I didn't have that. And there's something about not having that makes you long for that, makes you want that. And so while you looking at all these moms, is man, this motherfucker, she just keep disrespecting me, and she and she wanted this, and she didn't do this, and she man, you got your mama. Don't fuck around and have God take her out your life and she died for you to realize how important your mama was to you. And it's that real, that's what's going to have to happen for so many people. God is going to have to take some people out of your life for you to realize how important they really were. And it's too late then. God's gonna have to yank your daddy out your fucking life. You sitting there talking all down on that motherfucking one shit and you said all this stupid ass shit because you never got in touch with God and got the perspective of God for that situation in your life. You sitting there looking at with your fucking ego and that motherfucker never paid child support and he was never there for me and he never went to a game and he never talked to me and he never, okay, that may be true, but ask God why that is the way that it is. How is that making you as a father? Because your nappy head daddy wasn't there, does that make you more loving and compassionate because you're now the dad that you wish you had? So you're going to make sure that you're always there for your kids. You're going to make sure, yeah, my kids can always talk to me about anything because I could never talk to my raggedy ass daddy. My daddy didn't give a fuck. And so, man, I got to be the dad that I always wished I had. I got to be the loving and nurturing dad that I wished I had. My mama wasn't shit, but man, by my mama not being shit, that now makes me a better mom. Why? Because I want to be the mom I wish I had. I want to be the mom to my kids that I didn't have growing up. My daughter, Rayon, was talking to me. They were young. I took them to a drive-in, and we're sitting there, and this was years ago, and I just got off work, and they're out there playing with their friends, sitting down, eating junk. And I'm sitting in a van at the time, and I fell asleep, dog tired. And she came, got in the van. And she's like, Daddy, can I ask you a question? And I'm like, yeah, go ahead, baby girl. And she's like, if your dad wasn't a good dad, how did you learn how to be a good dad? And that hit me because nobody had ever asked me that. I never really thought about that. And so I'm sitting and I'm talking to her. I'm like, baby, I try to be the dad that I always wished I had. I try to be the dad that you guys could be proud of. I try to be the dad that, man, you guys are embarrassed of. I try to be to you guys what I wish my dad was for me. And so anytime I'm faced with a decision, I always think, what would my daddy do? Okay, my daddy would do this. That means I need to do the complete motherfucking opposite. You know what I mean? Just keeping shit real. Whatever decision my daddy would do, okay, I know I need to do the opposite because that motherfucker was on some bullshit. And so, but I realized then, okay, man, I gotta stop judging him. As I got older, man, I gotta stop judging him. I'm mad that he murdered my mom. I'm mad of all the bullshit he did, but I have to grow the fuck up. What did my daddy teach me? My daddy taught me how to be the man that I am. Let's keep the shit real. My daddy didn't tell me, son, I love you, I'm proud of you, and this is how you respect a woman, and this is how you talk to a woman, and this is how you open up the doors for a woman, and woo. My dad never talked to me like that. My dad, man, fuck them bitches, and woo. That's how my dad got down. My dad was big pimping in his head. But I didn't want to be like my daddy. And so I had to realize, man, I got to do stuff different from my daddy. My daddy is a great role model for me. My daddy was a great role model for me of what not to do, how not to be. My daddy was one of the greatest role models for me. He caused me so much pain, and I wanted to kill him. I told him, bring your ass back to Cali if you want to. I got a bullet with your name on it. Bring your bitch ass back to fucking California. I'm taking you out the fucking box. I meant what I said, and he knew I meant what I said. And God had to show me I had to grow the fuck up. I had to grow up. So I'm blaming my daddy for being who he was. I'm blaming my daddy for being the sorry dude that he was. He was hood as fuck. And I'm mad at him because he's not the man that I wanted him to be. I'm pissed at him because he didn't live up to my fucking expectations. And so many of you, you're mad at your parents because they don't live up to your expectations. They ain't the man or the woman you think they should be. And what God is saying to you, calm the fuck down and stop being so fucking arrogant and narcissistic and judgmental. They're teaching you how not to be. They're teaching you how to be better, how to be a more loving and compassionate and giving and nurturing mother and father. No greater role model you can ask for. I don't want to be like my daddy, so I changed my name. I didn't want to be like my daddy, so I joined the Air Force to move as far away from my raggedy ass family as possible. And God is saying, you're looking at this all wrong. You're looking at your life all wrong. And many of you, you're looking at your life all wrong. I don't give a damn what they did to you. You're looking at it wrong. And you're entitled to your perspective. You're entitled to that victim mentality if that's what you want. But at some point, we have to grow the fuck up emotionally and learn to tap into God and say, man, I hated my daddy. I hated the fact that my mama, man, I was mad at my mama. I hated my mama for dying. That's how fucked up I was. I blamed my mama for dying. And we sit here now as grown adults because our parents didn't live up to the expectations, our expectations. And we completely missed it. They were the perfect role model for us of what not to do, how not to be. I thank you for doing the best that you could do. I thank you for, man, my dad. That motherfucker stayed true to the end. You know what I mean? To the end, he stayed hood. He didn't give a fuck what anybody thought about him. He didn't give a fuck how many people are sending his ass to hell. He's dying, and he know he's dying, and he don't give a fuck about them people sending him to hell. He said he made his mind, he got right with God, and that's all that mattered. He don't apologize for shit. He ain't never apologized to me for killing my mama when I was 2, right in front of me. He never apologized for traumatizing my ass by stabbing my mama 49 fucking times. Never apologized. My father wasn't an apologetic person at all. That wasn't in his nature. He was fucking hood to the bone. But my father taught me how to love my daughters. My father taught me how to hold my daughters and my sons. My father taught me how to hug my kids and how to tell them I love them. And taught me how to tell them that I'm proud of you. My father didn't tell me that stuff. He didn't show me that stuff. Through his actions. He taught me that stuff through the lack of his actions. So if your mama wasn't nurturing and your mama was abusive, man, my auntie was abusive. Emotionally and physically, she beat the shit out of us. You know what I mean? She tore us the fuck down. You know what I mean? But I love that lady. I don't mess with her no more, but I love her. Stay with me. You have to grow up. She's still on some religious fanatic stuff that I can't mess with. But I'm no longer angry, and I had to talk to my sister about her. It's like, man, your mom, look at all the stuff that she went through. Raising 5 kids all by herself. She wasn't wilding out like we was as young adults. 1974, she find herself, 1972 is when we, 1973 I think it is. That's when we went to go stay with her. 1972 is when my mom died. Became wards of the court. I think it's like 73 or 74 when we finally got to her. She's raising 5 kids now as a single mom. A religious fanatic. So she wasn't out clubbing like many of us did. You know, we in our 20s, man, we turning shit up. In our 20s, we was lit all the fucking time. Most of we can't even remember what the fuck we was doing in our 20s because we just stayed fucking drunk. We was always partying and clubbing. And so I'm talking to my sister, I'm like, you can't stand your mama. You got all these issues with your mama, but look at what she did. Yes, she was physically abusive and she would beat the shit out of us. To where we had whelps with blood coming out. We got the shit beat out of us. But she was raising 5 kids, all by herself. She was doing the best that she could do. She didn't drink. She didn't smoke shit. She didn't club. She didn't have dudes in and out of her fucking life. She wasn't chasing dick. And she was in church. Church fucked us up. That was a whole nother fucking issue, right? But she did the best that she could do. In her early 20s. She had her own issues from her childhood, from her own daddy, from her own mom, who nobody ever talked about. Now she's raising 5 kids. And I'm fucked up emotionally. My sisters, we fucked up. She raising 5 of us. Her son's hard of hearing. We got to speak to him in sign language. She's raising 5 kids all by her fucking self. No fucking help. And we judging her and criticizing her and putting her down. And she did the best that she could do. Fuck our expectations. The shit we didn't like, it taught us how to be better. The shit we didn't want to fuck with, it taught us how to be different. It taught us how to be more compassionate and understanding and loving with our kids. How to be more nurturing to our kids. So what happened to you to where you got stuck? See, because we all go through some shit. We all go through some shit. Just because your shit ain't my shit don't mean that your shit ain't powerful. We all go through some stuff. And that's a blessing from God. All the stuff that we endured is a blessing from God. Here's the trick. So many of us have gone through so much. And there's people that haven't went through nearly what we've gone through, and they've committed suicide. There's people that haven't gone through nearly what we've gone through, and they're spun out. They've lost their mind. There's people that haven't gone through nearly what we've gone through, and they became so angry and hateful that they've killed other people. And they're spending the rest of their life in prison. What happened to you? What happened to you? Why are you so mad? Why are you so unforgiving? Why are you so hateful? Why are you so depressed? Life was never meant to be that way. We have to change our perspective. We have to see through the eyes of God. That God allowed all that stuff to happen to us so that we could grow through it. And then after we grew through it, now he could give us the wisdom, the insight, the understanding, so that we can stand now before the world as this beacon of hope, this beacon of love, this beacon of compassion, this beacon of light. Now we can stand here before the world. Man, I understand your pain. I understand your brokenness. Let me love you through this. Let me help you through this. That's why we've gone through all that we've gone through. It's not because you're cursed. It's not because nobody wants you. It's not because you're the quote-unquote black sheep. It's because you were chosen. Everyone was chosen. Everyone is not going to grow through it. Everyone is not going to tap into God and learn the lessons. It's their choice. We all have free will. You can stay stuck in hate and depression and anxiety and fear as a victim with a lack mentality. You can stay however the fuck you want to stay. That's your choice. But the reality is, man, God loved you so much. We say this about Jesus. God loved the world so much that he gave his only begotten son. We think that about Jesus, but we can't think that about us. Let me say it again. We put Jesus up on this pedestal. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying we look at Jesus and say, man, God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. But we miss the fact that God so loved the world that he brought you and I into this world. God so loved the world that he allowed all this negative, toxic, hateful shit to happen to us. God so loved the world that he allowed all these people to walk out your life. God so loved the world so much that he allowed all these people to beat you down emotionally and physically. God so loved the world so much, he allowed all these jobs and all these bosses to lie on you and to get you fired and what. God so loved the world so much that he allowed my daddy to murder my mom right in front of me when I was 2. God so loved the world so much that he allowed me to be molested twice at the age of 6. Why? Because God knew the end result. God knew that eventually this hard-headed, nappy-headed motherfucking kid was gonna get his shit together. Eventually this hard-headed, rebellious-ass, hateful-ass kid was gonna grow the fuck up. And he was going to walk in the authority that he came here to. He was going to walk and speak the voice that he had. Why? To speak life into others. To bring hope to others. To bring healing and restoration into the lives of others. God so loved the world that he allowed you to be born in the toxic ass family that you were. God so loved the world so much that he allowed his dad to do all that he did, that he allowed your mama to do all that she did. He allowed your brothers and sisters and everybody else, your aunties, your uncles, and everybody else to do all the shit that they did. Because he knew you were going to grow through it. He knew that you were going to shake that shit off like a duck shaking water off. God loves you that much. And it's a trip because we go through all this stuff and the world is so dark around us and our perspective is so dark and so twisted and so fucked up. We don't see no light in it. God loves you that much. With all the murder, all the rape, all the kidnapping, all the abuse taking place, God sits there knowing that you're there. God's at peace because he has his people out here. You, me, and so many others that are stars in a dark universe, that are stars and light in a dark world. My light can't shine in the light. Your light can't shine in the light. Your light shines best the darkest it is around you. You can look up at the sky in the daytime all you want to. You'll rarely ever see a star. I don't care how clear the skies are. You won't see a star. You could go up, stand on top of the mountaintop in the middle of the day and just look up, and you won't see a star. But as soon as it gets dark, you can look up and you'll see the stars. Why? The stars are there in the daytime. You just can't see them. You can't see them in the day because they're not intended to be seen during the day. Same thing with us. The world is dark. There's a lot of chaos going on. So mote it be. Man, I don't get caught up in what's going on in the world. I don't care what's going on in the world. That ain't got nothing to do with me. At all. I just let my light shine. And those that need to see my light will see my light. I don't care about the religious people telling me I'm going to hell. I don't care about the religious people telling me that I ain't got God in me, I ain't got no light in me, and all this other stupid ass bullshit they speak. I don't give a fuck what they talking about, because I know who I am. I know why I'm here. And that's all that matters. That's all that matters. It was always the religious people attacking Jesus. It was always the religious people saying that Jesus wasn't who he claimed to be. Ain't shit changed today. Ain't shit changed. It's just more people running around. It's just more darkness running around. Don't worry about that. Don't get caught up in how dark the world is. Don't get caught up in how hateful the world is. It's supposed to be hateful. It's supposed to be dark and gloomy. It's supposed to be depressing. It's supposed to be violent. So that our light can shine. So that our light can shine. That's why we're here. We're the stars on this planet. It's a trip how we get it so twisted. And we say people of prestige, these Hollywood people, these entertainers, these athletes, we say they're stars. And then we look at ourselves. I'm nobody. I'm nothing because I'm not like LeBron. I'm nobody because I'm nothing like Jay-Z. I'm nobody because I'm nothing like Beyonce. I'm nobody because I'm not like all these other rich and famous people, all of these stars. They're not the stars. They're not the true stars. We're the true stars. Regardless of your financial situation, regardless of whether you're in a relationship or not, we're the true stars. We're the true beacons of hope, of love, of life, of love. You know what I mean? We're the true stars. Remember who you are. Remember that you've gone through hell. And that's a beautiful thing. So many people have allowed what they've gone through to break them and to kill them. And we're still here. We're still here. letting our light shine. We're still here, growing, learning who we are, learning how to walk and use our authority. Learning that all things, not some things, not most things, all, A-L-L, all things work together for our good. All things, everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for you. All the things that you thought was a setup, all the things you thought was a trap to get you stuck and to get you lost and get you off track, and we'll do to them. All things works together for our good. Everything is always working out for us. My father doing all the crazy stuff he did. My mama not being here. My auntie being who she was. Those guys who molested me. All the stuff that I got to do. Everything is always working out for me. And so I don't see those things as negative things anymore. I don't see those people as negative people anymore. I can't be me if they didn't do what they did. I needed them to do all that they did in order for me to be who I am. I appreciate what they've done. In the past, I hated them. In the past, I wanted to kill them. Now that I've grown, now that I've tapped into God, and now I understand who I am and why these things are the way that they are. The hate, the anger, the rage, the victim mentality, the low self-esteem, the insecurities that I had has all been changed to love, to appreciation, to gratitude. I'm grateful for my dad living the life that he did. I'm grateful for those people doing the things that they did. I don't care about their karma. I don't even trip off their karma. I have no thoughts on that crap. Because I'm so stuck on gratitude. I'm so stuck on appreciation for all that they did. Because of who I am. Because what it's taught me. What it's changed and turned me into. And so we come into the world as these little kids, eyes all wide open. We have so much hope. We have so much, man, and we're just laughing and playing, and we're just having a blast. And we have all these expectations, all these things we want to do. And then all these things happen. And if you stay connected to God and you learn through that, now God can give you all the wisdom, the understanding, the knowledge, and the insight that you need in order to allow your light to shine. All that darkness brings about the wisdom, the knowledge. Man, my hope and prayer is that I've said something to help you. My hope and prayer is that I've said something to encourage you, to inspire you, to uplift you, to challenge your thought process. You know what I mean? Change your thought process. It's all good. Whatever it is, you're facing losing your job, this relationship is ending, whatever it is, it's all good. If I hadn't lost my wife in 2016 or 2015, I couldn't have the queen that I have now. If I hadn't lost my wife in 2015, I would have never went to China. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. And so a lot of times we go through things and we don't understand why. Stay the course. Stay connected to God. Not religion, God. seeking the answer as to why I'm going through this. What is this supposed to teach me? What am I supposed to learn from this? How is this going to bless me? Because you got to remember, all things, everything is always working out for me. My wife just died. Okay, that hurts. I'm frustrated. I'm broken. I'm devastated. But I have to remember, all things work together for my good. All things. I just lost this job. Okay. Man, I don't know how I'm going to pay these bills, and I don't know. Okay, has God always been there for you? Has he always made a way for you? Okay, if he's done that in the past, then how come you can't believe that he won't continue to do that? All things work together for your good. All things. Man. Reminder, guys, for those of you that are in the home meeting, we'll be meeting at 3:30. The home meeting we have is just a small group, men's group. Home stands for Healing Our Men Emotionally. And there's a Zoom link that we have, and we just top it up. And again, today we're talking about low self-esteem. Next week, we're talking about shame and grief. For the ladies groups, we're just meeting today. Today's our first day, and that group is titled Whole, WHOLE, and it stands for We're Healing Our Ladies Emotionally. Again, that meeting tonight is at 6 o'clock, and all times are Eastern Standard Time. If you'd like to be a part of that, as far as the home meeting, for the guys, shoot me an email at Healing Our Men Emotionally, all one word, at gmail.com. And for the ladies, if you'd like to be part of that group, just send me an email at Healing, HEALING, ladies, emotionally. Healing our ladies. No, excuse me. We healing our ladies emotionally. We healing our ladies emotionally. Just at gmail.com. And man, we'll get you the link for that. And again, that's 6 o'clock this evening. And we'll be back on again tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Tomorrow's going to be powerful. Tomorrow we're going in. Man, I love you guys. Happy healing. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for being a part of this tribe. My beautiful queen and I, we thank you. We honor you because you guys make this channel what it is. You guys make this community what it is. We love your feedback. We love your comments. Man, we love you guys. Happy healing. Peace.